Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2020. A new day, a new month, a new year, and a new decade. Isn't it a little bit overwhelming? It's quite funny when you step into the new year, there's this pressure to feel something, to resolve something, to determine something, and create this intent that you might not quite feel like or be there. And you're almost carried by this wave of this excitement. It's even worse when it's a new decade, because all of a sudden you're meant to have this weird revelation and hype about what is to come. I often engage with people now in January, and I find that they are somehow being catapulted into this new year, this new decade, and they've set goals, but to be honest, there's still elements of things that have been left behind. There's still some unfinished business, unresolved issues. There's still that tinge of disappointment, that tinge of depression sometimes, that almost becomes a barrier for them to step into something new. No matter how much they try ramp themselves up and hype themselves up, they really are not able to fully engage this moment. And typically what happens is you set resolutions and you set goals, and in a month or two you're back to the same rut. I want to challenge you as you begin this new year and as you begin this new decade to gift yourself with the gift of new beginnings. You see, a new beginning, like a new year, doesn't just happen because we've hit a point in the calendar. It doesn't just happen because the clock rolled over past midnight, and now we're in this new year. New beginnings don't come to pass because, of the passing of time or because someone has declared it. New beginnings come to pass when we give ourselves permission to begin again. If you don't give yourself permission to begin again, you'll still be in yesterday, but somehow your body be in today. And because it's a new decade, forcing yourself to act like you're in the future through your dreams and hopes. I want you to gift yourself with the gift of beginning again. You have to give yourself that gift. What do I mean by this, and how do you make it happen? It's very simple. When you gift yourself the gift of beginning again, the first thing you do is you forgive yourself. You forgive yourself of what you were able to achieve or not achieve in the previous times. You forgive others. Maybe last year or in this past decade, there are people that have held you back. There are people that have disappointed you. There are people that have not supported you. You have to forgive them. Perhaps there's circumstances and situations that were unfair, that were not your cause in this last year. And you were a victim of those circumstances. Beginning again means looking back and laying those things down. You see, if you do not reconcile the past, what worked, what didn't work, what people did or didn't do, what people said or didn't say, what you did or did not do, you will not be able to step into this moment and step into the future. If you are in this space and you feel a sense of heaviness, I want to tell you that it is because of something that happened a few days ago, last year, last decade, that you still haven't forgiven and you still haven't laid it down. I want you to gift yourself with the gift of beginning again. This means you choose to say, I'm going to stop fighting. I'm going to stop being angry. I'm going to stop blaming. And I'm going to stop pointing fingers. And I'm going to let sleeping dogs lie. I'm going to say what was done has been done, and I put it down. When you gift yourself the gift of beginning again by looking back and forgiving, you know what you do? You do the most beautiful thing that anyone can do for themselves. You remove a weight that has been on your back, on your heart, in your mind. You take it off. You derobe this weight that you've carried and that is weighing you down. And I can tell you now that is unnecessary and is not going to enable you to reach the heights that you need to reach to. Oh, for crying out loud, you've been angry with that person the whole year, a whole decade. Let it go. Letting go and forgiving others and forgiving yourself serves you. Oh, there's a bee here. It's going to serve you more than it's going to serve them, because it's going to remove a weight that is not necessary. I want you to gift yourself the gift of beginning again. Not only does that gift look like looking back and forgiving, it looks at taking stock of where you are. You see, I'm always fascinated when people start New Year's resolution. They're like, okay. You know what? Where are you at? Einstein says insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. The reason why we must take stock of where we are is because we've got to understand what are the habits, what are the thought patterns, who are the people, and what are the actions that have been tripping us up time and time again that got us to where we are. If, for example, you want to start gymming, but you're in the habit of sleeping late, or you want to start eating healthy, but you're in the habit of buying junk food, it's important that you sit back and you take stock of what's going on so that as you resolve for the future, you can remove those things that inhibit you. Can I put it to you that the second reason why that resolutions don't work, not only do you not come free in your heart by forgiving, but you keep the same environment and the same context and the same circumstances that hold you back. Take stock. Which area of your life is less than desirable? Which area of your life must change in this decade? In that, I want you to find a corner, and in that area, I want you to speak some truth to yourself and say, girl, guy, what's actually going on? What is going on? That might look back and say, you know what, this relationship is actually not good for me. This person is not building me up, supporting me. This person doesn't bring the best in me. And if you don't acknowledge that, you're going to decide, okay, you know what? I want to be kinder. I want to be happier. I want to be less mean because that's not who I am. But yet you've kept the relationship that constantly makes you angry, makes you upset, brings out the worst in you. You're only setting yourself up to fail. Make sense? If you're determining to yourself that actually I want to wake up and exercise, then maybe it might mean that you might need to disconnect DSTV because you stay up all night binge watching or catching up or whatever it is. Might mean sleeping early. It might mean whatever it needs to be. You've got to acknowledge what's going on. You've got to acknowledge. Look behind you. Forgive yourself and forgive others. Look at where you are. See what in your current circumstance is tripping you up always, because that impediment needs to be removed. Gift yourself with the gift of beginning again by then looking forward. Now that you've removed stuff off your back, now that you've looked at the circumstance to remove things out of your circumstance that hold you back, I want you to hope again. I want you to bring in new energy. I want you to dream about that situation again. I actually want you tonight before you go to sleep 15 minutes earlier, and I want you to sit there, lie down, and imagine that circumstance again. I want you to imagine yourself financially free with good financial habits. I want you to imagine with your fit, better self. I want you to imagine your business. I want you to imagine yourself at work with that promotion. I want you to imagine yourself loving on one another, supporting each other. I want you to imagine the future that you desire. And as you sit there and you dream, I want you to begin to get excited. Play that moving through and through. Consider how would it feel. I want you to put that thing so clearly. Write it down. Make it known. Make it clear. And as you sit and think about it, then I want you to come right back to the moment and say, what's the first step that I need to take in the direction that sends me there? For some of you, it might be looking for a new job. Others of you might be calling that friend and say it's over. Unfortunately, for some of you might mean even in a love relationship, you've got to say, babe, I need a timeout. I need to go find myself. Some of you, it might mean creating space in your house so you can have better work habits for your business. Some of you might mean dropping an email to 10 contacts and say, hey, I've started this new business. Do you know anyone that might need my service? Some of you might mean going back to church. Some of you might mean dialing up an old friend and meeting up with them. Some of you might mean finding a counselor and a psychologist that you can commit yourself to the next 6 months. You will sit with them and they will help you work through your issues. I want you to imagine a future, and all you need to do is take a small step in the direction of that future. All I gotta say, for me, my message for this year, as you begin this year, gift yourself with the gift of beginning again. I need you to offload that pain, that hurt, that disappointment, that depression, that lack of faith, that fearfulness. I need you to take it off by one, looking back, forgiving those that need to be forgiven. Forgive yourself. 2, look at where you are. Look at each circumstance and each area of your life and see what is actually hindering and stopping you and bring new habits there. 3, I need you to imagine a new future. Sit back, dream, hope, and then take a step in the right direction. My friend, this is your year. It is not your year because the clock and the calendar moved. It is going to be your year because you determine it to be, and you take the necessary moves to get you there. Just those 3 things I need you to do. Let us start this decade and begin anew. The old is gone and the new is before us. Let's grab hold of it. Let's lay hold of it and make it our own. I'm telling you now, I'm writing a whole new story. The last decade was tough. There were some good moments and some tough moments. This decade, Chiman, watch the space, because I'm going to do the work that is necessary. I love you very much. And I'm grateful that even as you begin this decade, you choose to let me be part of your journey. I am honored. And I'm going to walk with you. And I'm going to challenge you. And I'm going to encourage you as much as I can. Make it happen. Let's make this an awesome, awesome year and an awesome decade. Mwah! It's on, baby. 2020. Sis Corner.